Hello, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy GZTV. I have just got back from this birthday party, and I'm here to make a couple videos before we hop on stream. We have a Dexter review. We're going to talk about the new Sofago EP. That is very late for that, obviously, but yeah, so we're going to kind of sum up this Dexter episode. Pretty solid, moving the season along with this interesting dynamic between him and Deborah. But yeah, Dexter stands impatiently in line at a crowded post office as his frustration grows. His sister's like watching over him, not leaving him the fuck alone. So yeah, he is a bit frustrated, and that's quite understandable. Deb just keeps like poking the bear, At the morning briefing at the station, Dexter is annoyed by Vince Masuka's remarks and fantasizes about stabbing him in the neck just like he did to the lady at the post office. Like, this guy is picturing it in his mind. He wants to hurt these people even though they don't fit the code. And people not fitting the code and him wanting to kill them is going to make him like lose his mind. Because usually he kills people that are like justifiably deserve it, but that's because he gets to do this freely without Deborah. After the briefing, Dexter tries to collect a DNA swab from an uncooperative suspect. The man keeps pulling away, making sarcastic comments, kind of making a mockery out of him, and yeah, Dexter actually chokes him out. Like, he doesn't just fantasize hurting the guy; he actually hurts him. Like, he doesn't kill him, but you know what I mean. Outside, Deb asks Deborah what is wrong with him. Like, what the hell is gotten into him? And Dexter's thinking stop fucking watching me, Obviously what I'm doing is wrong, but either don't watch me and let me roam freely or fucking report me to get me arrested. Come on. I don't want my sister watching over me, having to supervise me or what the fuck ever, chaperoning me around and shit. No one wants that. It doesn't matter how bad of a person. Is Dexter really that bad of a person? He's gotten rid of so many murderers in the police department. Yeah, that sounds selfish from an audience standpoint because we want to protect Dexter, obviously, but man. Dexter looks over the file of a parolee, Ray Speltzer, who is arrested but not convicted of the murders of 2 women. So yeah, Dexter, this is his next thing. He kind of has a side project to the main people. It's kind of formulaic, but at least this time there's something different going on. There's a lot more opportunities for the show to really flourish. But yeah, it's kind of like a side hustle to the main antagonists, which is the Ukrainian, the Koshka Brotherhood, I think is what they're called. Nadia, a stripper from the foxhole, waits for Quinn at his desk, and they're starting to form a relationship with each other. And at first you think Nadia's using Quinn, and in a way she's kind of ordered to do so, but we know that deep down that she actually kind of likes Quinn, When Nadia returns to the foxhole without the bracelet, because she's trying to get info on this bracelet, it's this tracking device they put on all their dancers to make sure they're in line and stuff. She returns there, and George Novikov is skeptical that Quinn told the truth. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. It's kind of interesting situation there. The Koshka heroin operation will be ruined if they find this bracelet because this girl's associated or whatever. After Nadia leaves of office, Isaac tells George and Jurg that Victor is smart and probably took the bracelet off Kaja. But then they are trying to get this gateway. They're trying to he's telling this nerdy kid, this computer tech guy, to load up where the bracelet is and get the tracking data, whatever. The IT guy. Back at Miami Metro, the package that Dexter mailed earlier arrives. He mailed it to Lewis, to forensics. Masuka opens it, the hand, and Dexter forged a letter. Dear Mr. Green, when I bought the ice truck killer's hand online, I assumed it would be in mint condition, not with lines drawn over its palm. Please refund all my money, all this stuff. So Dexter's pretty much plotting against Lewis because he's ruining things. Touching his shit. He's crossed the line because Dexter doesn't want to talk to him about his fucking game. This guy's getting all salty and shit. Masuka is shocked and accuses Lewis of having the hand the whole time. He has bad luck with interns. Dexter didn't have it. It was Lewis. It actually genuinely was Lewis. He was able to hack into evidence, I believe. I don't remember how he did it. It happened quite a while ago, though. But yeah. Meanwhile, Wayne Randall's mother appears at the station and gives a bag of her son's souvenirs to Deb because now she's that he's dead, she's willing to help them kind of find some closure on his situation and maybe help them find some evidence of things that are going on, and there's possibly other murderers, because they talked about this necklace as a trophy. But Dexter realizes, oh, there's other trophies. They were all like placed together in the bag or whatever. Lewis returns to his penthouse where he finds Jamie watching the video diary of him with a call girl. And yeah, obviously that ends their relationship because he's caught cheating, but I guess Dexter must have planted something in there. And this isn't even like manipulating Lewis. This is just like revealing the truth to Jamie. Like, yeah, he had a call girl over. What the fuck ever. Yeah. Dexter lures Deb to Speltzer's bar, Sugar Mill Saloon, so he can kind of have a discussion with her. And like, Dexter genuinely wants to like cooperate with Deborah. He doesn't want to go out and kill without her permission and stuff like that. And I mean, there's probably a good reason why. I mean, he doesn't want her catching him. She has the threat looming over his head as a lieutenant. Hey, I'm going to take you in. Like, if you do anything else. So yeah, he shows her Speltzer, shows her that he might have evidence that he's doing something, and things are wrong here. Dexter stalks Speltzer at Briar Cemetery, where he works as a groundkeeper. Deb calls him, wants him to report to her office, and I mean, want to check on him too, because she actually wants to she has something to tell him. So at the foxhole, an IT technician informed Serco that the GPS on the bracelet was tracked from Victor's apartment to the airport, to a marina, then 8 miles out to sea where the signal disappeared, and we can only assume what that means. Victor died. So the Koshka Brotherhood finds out who did it. They just need to know, or they find out that Victor died, they just want to know who did it. As soon as Dexter enters Deb's office, she questions him. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're doing this, you're doing that. Like, I guess she tricked him. She tried to act like something was up, and then she asked him about all this shit, and this lizard brain's alerting him, like, this whole thing. I thought it would have been funny if the episode was called that. Like, this whole thing about having a lizard brain and instinct, just trying to, come up with anything he can to try to cover himself up. But, before going to Hannah's house, they stop at the foxhole. Dexter and what's his name, Batista, because she wants him out with him to kind of keep him occupied and whatnot. At Hannah's nursery, because they show up and she's, in her garden and stuff, Batista and Dexter are rudely addressed by her, for obvious reasons, right? I don't even know why the hell they'd be surprised. She's probably been questioned over the years by many police officers, you know? When Deb asked Maria LaGuerta for a search warrant obviously they get, everything done with her, they try to ask her questions, blah, 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 they get the swab, they leave. So when Deb asked Maria LaGuerta for a search warrant on Speltzer's mausoleum, she's told there isn't enough evidence, and obviously you have to be smart about this. And this is the whole reason why Dexter probably couldn't help them in the first place. He probably could have revealed to his sister that he knew these things. Oh, I forgot. I remember now how this ended. This ending was fucked, bro. But yeah. So I'm kind of moving around, scatterbrained over the episode. But yeah, Dexter couldn't have even told them if he wanted to, because they wouldn't believe him. They'd be like, oh, not enough evidence, it's bullshit, right? At Dexter's marina, Lewis is drilling a hole in Dexter's boat in order to sink it when he's interrupted by Serco, Novikov, and Jurg. He tells them he owns a slice of life, and then when they threaten to kind of hurt him, he tells them he doesn't. And yep, he gets shot in the head. He tells them it belongs to Dexter Morgan, and so he doesn't go telling someone about his encounter, they kill him. Which is fucked up. Lewis just got capped. He got caught in the stray line of fire. So yeah, now Dexter Morgan has a target on his head, and he has no idea about it, so that's going to be fucking fire, honestly, that whole idea, that whole storyline. At night, Dexter climbs the fence into Briar Cemetery while Melanie Garrett simultaneously shows up at Speltzer's house. So a lot of things are kind of happening at the same time. Quinn is at Nadia's apartment. They're kind of hanging out while all this is happening, blah, blah, blah. she like likes him, and they're trying to exchange some things. Like, if she hears anything about his murder, she'll tell him, yada yada yada, and he'll like tell her some shit to make her bosses happy. Dexter finds Nina Fleischer's earring, one of Speltzer's trophies, inside the mausoleum. The mausoleum has no cell service, and obviously, like, at that time with the tech, you had to like send it on the spot. You couldn't like save it to your camera roll and then send it later. But yeah, after entering Speltzer's house, Melanie begins to feel uneasy because the sofa is covered in plastic and his behavior is odd. He's just like a really weird individual, and she has very like right instincts about this dude. Like, whatever she's thinking in her mind, she's probably right about. And she drags her into the Minotaur maze, which is so fucked up. Oh my god, this is like the darkest shit I've like damn near ever seen on this show. It's like so fucked up. There's like spikes, barbed wires, fucking fences everywhere. She's like trying to run away from him, and he's like dressed as a Minotaur. It's so weird. Deb stakes out Speltzer's house until she sees the lights go out. She's like, oh shit, okay, I can leave now. And then all of a sudden, strobe lights, she's hearing death metal in the window. She's like, oh fuck, I've got to check this out, right? She goes in, and obviously there's like this interesting dynamic because as the Minotaur, Speltzer is chasing Melanie, but then a police officer goes in, and when he sees her, obviously he's going to react like, what the fuck are you doing here? And oh man. Deb breaks into the house and confronts Speltzer, but he knocks her down and is about to kill her. Dexter shows up, hurts him, obviously. Like the plot convenience, you can't just have Deborah die. They do all this. They find the victim, Melanie. I think she died. Yeah, Melanie's lifeless. Speltzer escapes. And yeah, if Dexter had killed Speltzer, and Dexter's right, and Deborah's starting to realize it, and she's like, fuck. Like, this is such a fucked up situation. And she's guilty about it. She understands what he does. She says his activities might be a necessary evil, and that's just like a complete turning point in the show, because now you're like, oh shit, like Deborah might actually start to agree to what Dexter's doing, and it's going to be interesting, because if they work together for like this from now until like the end of the last season, I think that would be such a cool thing for this show. I think this show needs something like that. But I'm out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Season 7 so far is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. We're obviously watching this and The Walking Dead, kind of just steadily getting through the shows. Obviously, we have one more season of Dexter after the next season, which will be like the remake of the show, and then we'll be done with that series. I obviously have like Ozark, The Sopranos, maybe Game of Thrones lined up. I might even start watching anime on this show, like